worry energy yẹn. That is the reason why it was disrupted. Now àwọn ò lọ sójú kan, wọ́n ò lọ síwájú, wọ́n ò lọ sẹ́yìn, wọ́n ò lọ sẹ́niwẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní láti 2022 àwọn ti declare country. Wà láìtàláì sọmọ bí láì làzílà wà tí bàbá Akíntóyè bá declare Yorùbá nation nínú ọdún yìí ẹ rí yàtọ̀. Kò gbọ́ mi ṣe rí tá a bá determine ta kàn ní à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation a dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí àwọn kan bínú àbí àfẹ́jẹ́ kọ́ bá bínú àbí kíjòyè bínú àbí àwọn bẹ̀rù nígbà country o. Ó kàn máa di pé a kò sọ di comedy ni. In tó kàn máa wá dùn not me, in tó kàn máa dùn wá ni pé bàbá 90 years old a jẹ́ kó fulfill wish ẹ̀. Kọ́lọ́run fún bàbá ní àlàáfíà tó pọ̀ kí bàbá lè gbé wa délẹ̀ lérí bá ṣe ń sọ. But bá ṣe ń ṣe yìí it's like pé àtẹ̀fẹ́ kí bàbá gbé wa délẹ̀ lérí kò ń ṣàwá kan but àwọn wo Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀, Aláàfin, Àwùjalẹ̀, gbogbo àwọn first class ọba tí wọ́n wà against pé kí Yorùbá kó dá dúró wọ́n ò fẹ́ kí bàbá gbé flag Yorùbá sókè. Gbogbo àwọn olóṣèlú látòkè délẹ̀ wọ́n ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kí bàbá casting engineering àwọn tó mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ wọ́n ní tí mo wò yẹn lọ́ pè ní casting engineering ẹ ṣe gan ni àpé mi ò lọ school so mo kí yín gan ni. Wọ́n ní casting engineering lọ́ pè. Thank you very much. So ní èní according to èní kí lè ní àbí lọ́dọ̀ wa 2025 ní Ethiopia is 2017. Ó dà ń pẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n tí mo sọ. Ní Ethiopia lénìí the country has just entered 2017. Ethiopia has never been colonized. It has been independent for over 2,000 years. Ẹ ṣàmọ̀ the bangos salis kini bọ̀bọ̀ tó máa ń ẹni salise àbí kini kan mọ̀ pronunciation orúkọ yẹn. The Ethiopian calendar, distant from the Gregorian calendar widely used by me, a Yoruba man, tí ìran ẹ̀ tí exist tí kò tẹ̀jẹ̀ kó máa lo Gregorian calendar. Ẹ ṣe gan ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi láti Nottingham wọ́n ní because they are not using ẹ̀rọ fáwọn law school so àwọn ti comment kí n torí táwọn bá kà bẹ́ẹ̀ yàwó lè mọ́. So sometimes it makes me think that who the hell làwọn ilé tó máa wá determine àyè fáwa? Who the hell are they? Tá làwọn? Orí olókun ironmonger exists in Yoruba land before colonialism was introduced. Orí olókun tẹ́ ń wò lẹ́yìn mi ìdí tẹ̀ra ń wò tó dúró yìí. Ó ti exist before colonial came to Africa. Àwa la wá ń sọ nísìnyí pé ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Àwọn kan wá sọ fún wa pé ọ̀nà wo lè fi gbà. Kí ni strategy tẹ́ máa fi make that declaration? Bàbá ló kàn ní láti declare káwa dẹ̀ jókòó ẹ tó bá fẹ́ wọlé tó fi wá ṣe jàǹbá nígbà tó bá make declaration yẹn kájọ máa wòran. Kákọ̀ defend ẹ̀ ní that's all. That's all. Ṣẹ́rí gbogbo ariwo tá a ṣe ń pa yìí. Tí bàbá bá ti make announcement ká jáde ká shut gbogbo ẹ̀ down from every part and every nook corner of Yoruba land ká shut it down. Tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn opposition ọmọ Yorùbá tó lóṣèlú ń lò lọ́ máa jẹ́ alátakò kọ́ wá ṣe nígbà yẹn. That's all. There will be a lot of bloodshed. But Nigeria ṣe máa pín. So this momentum that can build sílẹ̀ nísìn people like me, I'm just trying to hold on to it. Kò ń ṣe olóyè nìkan ni. Ṣẹ́rí olóyè is a special human being. Kò ń ṣe pé ó gbé kùkù fáwa. Àwọn olóògùn àmì kankan. But ààrẹ dì pé in tó bá fẹ́ gbà yẹn àwa tẹ̀lé. Ó tẹ̀wé èmi fẹ́ witness ẹ̀ torí èmi ò tẹ̀ witness ẹ̀ rí. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé by witnessing it mi pé a fẹ́ make history kan tí àgbáyé gan máa gbọ́ pé àwọn wo làwọn túlẹ̀ àwọn eléyìí. Àwọn olóòpá àwọn ti pààrọ̀ wọn tán ni. But tá a bá sùn tá a sùn ẹ̀gbẹ́ tá à ń ṣe mẹ̀kẹ̀mẹ̀kẹ̀ tá à ń ṣe pé àìtí rẹ̀ dì ká túbọ̀ ṣe díẹ̀ sí. I am not one of those medias. I'm telling you. We can waste every effort. Mo ṣe wo ìjìnlẹ̀ tán nísìn kí n tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ program 8 hours of program tó ṣe kò mórí wá kò mọ́ kankan jáde. It just shows that àwọn tí à ń sọ fún pé that energy tí gbogbo àjọ ní tíyàn kan wá disrupted wọ́n rí energy yẹn. That is the reason why tó ṣe disrupted. Now àwọn ò lọ sójú kan, wọ́n ò lọ síwájú, wọ́n ò lọ sẹ́yìn, wọ́n ò lọ sẹ́niwẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní láti 2022 àwọn ti declare country. Wà láìtàláì sọ́mọ́ bí láì làzílà wà tí bàbá Akíntóyè bá declare Yorùbá nation nínú ọdún yìí rí yàtọ̀. Tó bá lè make pé kọ́ declare Yorùbá nation fún wa lọ́dún yìí rí yàtọ̀ as against àwọn yẹn. But àwọn yẹn kọ́ mọ fẹ́ fi iman kí ló lè mú Ethiopia tó takú pé so no a máa bá àgbáyé ṣe ẹ̀yin ẹ máa lo kàlẹ́ndà tẹ̀yin ń lò àwọn ò ní lo tọ̀dọ̀ tí èmi ti gba Ethiopia kọjá rí. Àwọn lọ́ni one of the best airlines ní Africa. Ẹ rántí pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Buhari ti ní kó lọ yá airline tó painted tó pè ní Air Nigeria. So it makes people like us just ogun mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ra pé yọkàn wá sórí program asọ́dún ti pọ̀ jù. Tó bá kúkú jẹ́ pé akúkú jọ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó shut down are they serious bí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó wà níta kájọ máa padà bọ̀ nílé. Ẹ wá rí i pé within 10 days kò tẹ̀ ní the month kankan kí gbogbo Yorùbá pátá tó jẹ́ ọmọkùnrin Yorùbá ẹ fìyàwó sílẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀yin náà máa padà bọ̀ kájọ fọwọ́ kún Ìgbòho. Ẹ rí i pé àwọn táwọn à ń sọ ìwọ tó ń pera wọn but táwa kan bá wá lè wálé for whatever reasons. Torí ẹnìkan sọ nísìnyí pé òun ò lè fi iṣẹ́ òun sílẹ̀ okay understandable. Ẹ má wàá jẹ́ yìí lẹ máa tún máa wá pull movement yìí down because it's a movement that will succeed. Movement yìí máa succeed ó dẹ̀ máa ṣojú gbogbo wa nítorí pé kò ń ṣe ọ̀la èní náà la máa witness it. We have been a very powerful force. Àwọn òyìnbó bẹ̀rù wa ju bá ṣe ń rò lọ but àwa láì tí ì sọ fún wọn pé alátìjẹ́ kan bẹ̀rù wa débẹ̀. And to avoid any big massive problem, we've known what the politicians might do. Instigate violence during the rally. Àti ráwọn tó ti ń ríran yẹn mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé gbogbo ìtọ́ba try láti push tó lè dá violence sílẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kí Ọlọ́run ní fún wọn ṣe. We have ẹ ṣe gan ni bàbá wa mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. We need to act now. Then, in the 22nd, but according to the Ethiopian calendar, in 2017, and compare Ethiopia Day, the Gregorian calendar, because the country has just entered 2017 in Ethiopia. Ethiopia has never been colonized. It has been independent for the past 2,000 years. The Ethiopian calendar is distinct from the Gregorian calendar widely used. So they are 7 years behind today. Okay, my editor BT or indicate 21. Eshigoni yawa mama ko yele so malo edit here. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí ẹ̀yin wa. We have been able to prove beyond doubt pé the doubt tó sì wà lẹ́nu mi ẹ̀mí àwọn kan ni pé how do we survive all this tabate na kúrò ní Nigeria? How can we survive it? But it is one of the most easiest things that we will survive. Mo fẹ́ edit Eshigoni yes Eshigoni ìyá mi mo mọ̀ pé nǹkan tẹ́yìn sọ nìyẹn. I was thinking I will edit that material so that come and confuse àwọn yẹn wa in the 22nd, not 21st. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọlé, mo kí gbogbo aráàta, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí àjọ ṣiṣẹ́ yìí, àjọ ṣe wọ̀ níjọba jẹ́. Mo dẹ̀ kí àwọn ọba wa náà tí mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà wá darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tí Ọlọ́run bá fẹ́. Torí pé kó darapọ̀ mọ́ wa yẹn òun gangan ni ó dájú. Before I started the program, I always love to go on Google and type in self-determination. Kò ń ṣàwa nìkan ni a jẹ́ indigenous people tó náà fi dá dúró lágbàáyé. While I was doing that, I've come across a particular page or website. What we need, Sasakawa Peace Foundation. When you think, do, and innovate. Ronu, she, kode, tushe, innovate tank. There was a report to release, multi download the PDF in 2014. What we need, mediating self-determination conflict. Mediating. I'm sure Awon Onitiri kí ni wọ́n pè ní mediating or power law school àkàwé. A sọ pé mediate. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá gbọ́ Yorùbá dáadáa, ẹ kọ bá mi fi sí comment section kí mi náà lè tapu knowledge wa. Kí ni wọ́n pè ní mediate ní èdè Yorùbá? Èyí tí mo kàn mọ̀ ni pé tí èèyàn méjì bá jà, a máa ń wáyàn kan tó fi bá wa settle to settle a dispute. Mediate. M-E-D-I-A-T-E. Àwọn spell ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ní Mike Echo Delta India Alpha Tango Echo. Mediate. Ẹ fún mi ní Yorùbá translation ẹ̀ nínú comment section. Mediate. Kí ló ń pè ní mediate? Tá a bá fẹ́ gbé padà lọ sí present participle la máa sọ pé mediating. So article tí mo rí yẹn ó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú mediating dispute. Kí ló ń fa dispute? Ó gbá mọ́tò mi. Ó ní sóríire gbàgà ó ti fọ́gò. Nílùú òyìnbó, ó gbá mọ́tò mi. This is my insurance. Oh, hope you're okay. You're not okay. Apa ambulance. Ọlọ́pàá dé, ambulance adé wá treat ẹ. Kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ tiwa. Ẹ jẹ́ n kọ́kọ́ padà sí. Mo ní sọ fún yín pé mo sì mi send fídíò kan olùlàjà. Àti rẹni fún wa ní Yorùbá version ẹ̀. Ẹni tó ń làjà. Ẹ má yẹ kí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Àwọn tí mò ń sọ fún yín nísìn. Àwọn ṣẹ́lẹ̀yìn politicians. Ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ kó di ìjà. Káwa máa wẹ́ ẹni tó máa làjà. Èmi ò dẹ̀ gbàdúrà pé kó dìjà. Bò mo fẹ́ ká wọrí M1. Èmi ò gbàdúrà pé kó dìjà. Bò mo ń gbàdúrà pé ó gbọ́dọ̀ lórí M1. Torí mo mọ̀ pé ẹ ní gbọ́ rárá. Gbogbo tèmi sọ níbí bàrà tí àwọn tó kù tájọ́ ń sọ. Ṣé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sọ fún wa pé ẹ wá fi ọmọ kọ wọ̀n wá. Àtẹ̀fẹ́ rí ọmọ kọ yín. But in tó kọ̀ máa yà mí lẹ́nu ni pé tá bá fi ọmọ kọ wọn ra wa tán. Nàìjíríà máa padà pín. Pain máa pọ̀. Àwa ṣẹ̀ tí máa wá ẹni tó máa làjà. But ìjà tó máa là kò ń ṣe pé a máa padà síbi tá a ti ń bọ̀ o. Ẹ gbọ́ wa dáadáa. Tí Yorùbá nation bá lọ dìjà láàrin àwa àtẹ̀yìn. Ṣẹ́rí kékeré ni ti gbogbo Fúlàní àti federal government. Ṣẹ́rí ẹ̀yin representative wa gangan. Ẹ̀yin ni the 100% obstacle to this movement. Ẹ̀yin gangan ni the obstacle tí ó ń tako pé kí Yorùbá kó má dá dúró. Àwa dẹ̀ ń béèrè pé ta lẹ́yìn. Ṣebí ordinary citizen lẹ́yìn náà. But ẹni ẹ̀ ní gbọ́, mò ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn. Torí mo fẹ́ make sure pé a gbọ́ àgbọ́yé bíbá. Torí nígbà tí mo ka kíní, mo ti kà tán délẹ̀ just the first paragraph. Mo fẹ́ padà sórí meaning involved in a disagreement to try to help them to agree or find a solution. Netflix wọ́n pè ní bọ̀bọ̀ kan ó lọ sínú Apple Store eventually èèyàn kan wá síbẹ̀ ó mú ẹnìkan as hostage. I think I hostage. I'm sure pé àwọn kan ti wo film yẹn. It's a new film ó ṣẹ̀ jáde. I hostage. Ó wá ní òun ní the negotiator. Tá bá ti jáde fún rally is it that kí ẹ tètè accept pé kí Nàìjíríà kò dissolve. It can lead to us now between you and us kí negotiator máa bá wa méjèèjì sọ̀rọ̀. Torí àwọn already láti kúrò lórí street. Wọ́n kò ní kọlura wa yẹn. Chances yẹn slim gan ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa. We are telling them now that there is still room. Ẹ sì lè jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ negotiating team pẹ̀lú state àti Babakitoye àti federal kó jókòó kọjọ sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kí a dẹ̀ máa prepare our exit. But ẹ bá wọn sọ pé kò lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀. No problem. No problem. kólúkálukú ṣáà lọ máa prepare pé there will be a lot of destruction. Kò ń ṣe mi, èmi lèmi kàn jẹ́ media tó ń sọ fún yín ni, that is going to be the bulk of the problem. There will be massive disruption. Kò ní sí normal activities tó ń rí lẹ́nìí. Ṣokotí òun ni fídíò tí mo ní mo sì mi send sí mi. Mo wo fídíò ẹ̀ tán délẹ̀, mo kàn skip kíkọ̀ fi ní background knowledge. Via Ilé Ifẹ̀, looking at ibi tán lọ gbá àwọn òkú lọ, I think it was Ilé Ifẹ̀. And there was a fatal accident. Truck tó wá ṣe accident yẹn, ó kó iyẹ̀pẹ̀. Ó ru iyẹ̀pẹ̀. Mo believe pé iyẹ̀pẹ̀ ló wà nínú kíní truck yẹn. Ó dẹ̀ tún sáré on another person's lane. Okay, àwọn tó ti rí fídíò yẹn wọ́n ní láti Iléṣà to Ifẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. You will cry for humanity. Ó wá dàwó lé mọ́tò mi lórí. Àwọn ṣoko tí wá yọ, wọ́n ráyè yọ ẹni tó wà nínú mọ́tò yẹn. Ìyá yẹn survive. Wọ́n sì gbé dé hospital. Ìyá yẹn ló wá sọ fún wọn pé àwọn èèyàn sì wà nínú mọ́tò tí ẹ ti yọ mí yẹn. 4 hours 50 mọ́tò tó ń ru bí ayẹ̀pẹ̀ lóru ní àbí kankan lóyún tó dẹ̀ dà lé another small car pẹ̀lú weight ẹrù tó wà níbẹ̀. Ṣáwọn tó wà lábẹ́ nínú mọ́tò yẹn sí ẹni máa pa Ọlọ́run jẹ́ akú. Àwọn tó kú nínú accident yẹn wọ́n ní wọ́n lọ ṣèyàwó àbí kankan ni. Àwọn kan ló wà at fault. Mọ́tò tó ru iyẹ̀pẹ̀ wà lórí léènì tó ń ṣe léènì ó dẹ̀ wá pa àwọn èèyàn. Ilé iṣẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ ní oní wíkẹ́ndì àdá nìkan ló ń pa wá. After many hours láti lè jẹ́ kí mọ́tò yẹn kó expand because ó ti compress mọ́tò yẹn pẹ̀lú àwọn márùn tó wà nínú àwọn yẹn ti gbàgbọ́ àwọn sáyé. I just pray pé family yẹn believe in Yorùbá nation because ṣẹ́dá ní family tẹ́ believe in Yorùbá nation tẹ́ bá lose àwọn èèyàn yín káwa dẹ́ pariwo pé purpose tí a ṣe fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation ni pé ká lè ní system tó lè ṣiṣẹ́. Kò ní sí pé kò ní sí accident ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ ní London ní America àwọn èèyàn ń kú lójoojúmọ́ but the prevention of such accident can be done in many months. Irú mọ́tò yẹn nísìn bó ṣe ń sáré yẹn ó jẹ́ kó ti rí lórí kámẹ́rà kó ti dá dúró pẹ̀lú ọlọ́pàá tó máa sọ no níbo ló ti ń bọ̀ kẹta ni wọ́n ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ń pè é àsínú Nàìjíríà mo má drive bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ó yá pàdé wa kí risk yẹn gbogbo point ta ní lórí license wa 12 ni 12 ẹlòmíì tí ẹkù méjì ẹlòmíì tí ẹkù mẹ́ta tèmi nísìn ó play nípa in the last 4 years but tó bá bá nẹ pé kó má drive ọlọ́pàá ò ní láti wọ́ ẹ pé o má drive tó bá ṣàti drive tó bá tún mú ẹ ẹ̀wọ̀n ló ń lọ. So what I'm trying to explain is that ẹ̀yin tẹ́ against the Yorùbá nation for whatever reason there is likely that you will die in the system because of the time. Because analysis man take time, and before you know, you might not even know you have done 1-2 hours. So let's go back to this article. So I'm just going to give us the introduction. As long as I'm about to get introduction, easy for her. But before we do that, just a quick update as well. Mo le lọ kí má dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá tí ẹ fi platform wa as a platform that you can say, Koiki, we trust and we believe in the little of what you say you would do. It's it's just like 1% of the needs that can be useful. Aṣáàríyàn kan tá gbọ́ pé níbi tó ti bára wọn jẹ̀ṣẹ́ ìkan fún kan ní 20 million kò tẹ̀ bójú wẹ̀yìn and I don't want to mention names. I need a call because ó ṣe wá all together báyìí. Okay, ilé mi láti gbélé nǹkan wife mi ni láti London. Ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ̀mí wọn sẹ́ mẹ́sẹ̀jì ṣe láàárọ̀ orí mẹ́sẹ̀jì mi. Mo wà lórí life nísìnyí anyway ó ti jáde nù. Mo gbọ́ àsọ̀rọ̀ níta. Ìlọ̀bìnrin mọ̀ owó náà ni something for the house. Èbí bá ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yìí náà ní ìtẹ̀wà náà. Kò mo ti set up program yẹn kí n ṣe program yìí láàárọ̀ oorun yẹn tún kàn mí padà mo ṣe tún lọ sùn padà. Nítorí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni pé something for the house a máa yanjú yẹn later so ó ti stop media tí mo record ẹ ká continue again. So èyí tí mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ dúpẹ́ ni lórí ètò Koiki Media náà láṣẹ lọ Koiki Media bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Wọ́n ṣàfipá arákùnrin tó wà ní Burkina Faso gbogbo èèyàn lè má láìkẹ̀ bóyá ká túbọ̀ máa ṣàdúrà fún ìyẹn Traoré ọmọ kékeré ni lóòótọ́ àwọn lo opportunity pé system táwọn ti fi hijack government weapon níwà gbogbo ẹ̀wà àwọ̀ hijack government tó à ń ṣe coup plot out but a máa shut down gbogbo system tó máa fi ní dialogue. Ṣé rántí pé ṣé pásítọ̀ kan ló sọ tó ń sọ tàwọn ti Biafra pé dialogue now government ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà náà tójú wá rí nígbà tá à ń lọ Èkìtì nífìrí Ọlọ́run ló ní kó jẹ́ pé àwọn tó mọ̀ ọ̀nà rárá kò ń ṣe wàsá kò ń ṣiṣẹ́ kékeré wà dúpẹ́ fọlọ́run for the journey mercy. Burkina Faso army say pé Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́ is not in a royal supremacy battle with anyone but they're rather more concerned about the progress and development of his country. Which country? Ṣé Nàìjíríà náà làwọn náà sọ. We pray that he has what it takes to withstand the test of time. Afẹ́yẹ́ kí bàbá settle down ni àtẹ̀tí náà tó ti ń pè wá pé kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀ tí ìpa Aláàfin pé kọ́ bá wa bí a kọ́ lọ sí because wọ́n ní the late Aláàfin fi lọ bá Queen kó tó di pé COVID dé gbogbo yẹn la gbọ́ bọ̀ mo ti fẹ́ switch síbẹ̀ yẹn bọ̀ mo article táwọn ọmọ mi kọ́ kó jáde ni mo rí náà pé ìjà ta ló jẹ́ kìíní jù ṣé ọ̀nà òfìfẹ́ ni àtàwọn méjèèjì èwo ló fẹ́ kí Yorùbá ní àlàáfíà là ń fẹ́ nínú àwọn méjèèjì àlàáfíà lẹ Yorùbá kí Yorùbá dẹ̀ jẹ́ country kò ń ṣe pé àlàáfíà Yorùbá nínú Nàìjíríà tí Aláàfin bá ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà nígbà fáwọn náà it's as simple as that. So ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀síwájú so tí mo kàn fẹ́ mú jáde ni pé mo kí ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo tún release owó fún wọn láti lọ pick more of our products logistics as we said on this platform mo sọ lánàá bá máa release owó láàárọ̀ I've released money láti tún lọ ra walkie talkie àti megaphone so kò ní jẹ́ pé walkie talkie nìkan la kàn rà bá ṣe ra walkie talkie àmàrà díẹ̀ megaphone mo kí àwọn different groups tí wọ́n ń jáde pé Koiki ẹ̀yin náà gba kékeré kò ṣe pé wọ́n ńláńlá ló ń kó wá o torí gbàkan lẹ́ẹ̀ máa rìn náà jókòó ní sẹ́ millions ti wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ it's not about millions but the thousands tó ń kó wá we are making use of it. And like I said to a particular àwọn group kan tí mo bá sọ̀rọ̀ láàárọ̀ yìí mo níyàn kankan need walkie-talkie. The whole of walkie-talkie is in charge of CSI and Baba Akintoye. They will know what to do with it. Ẹ jẹ́ kí sísítà mi èèyàn yìí Òjíṣẹ́ TV ó yẹ ká ti wá sórí program wọn kájọ ṣe program bóyá nísìnyí tí mo wà láfíríkà tẹ bá pè mí kájọ jókòó màá fún yín ní 1 hour oníjú 1 hour lọ mo kẹ́ dáadáa sísítà mi wọ́n fi super chat ránṣẹ́ àwọn ti ní privilege láti rí mọ́mísí mi nígbà tí mọ́mísí lọ sí Germany Ọlọ́run àdó ti gbogbo wa Ọlọ́run ní fi wá sílẹ̀ so ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sórí ìwàkiwà tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ká wá sórí ètò yín ẹ jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ à ṣe program together láti lè fi dára wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nípa Yorùbá nation à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìlàjà pé tíyàn méjì bá jà àdúrà tá à ń gbà ni pé kí Yorùbá nation má lọ di ìjà láàrin àwa àti àwọn kan but going back to this article tí mo ní mo fẹ́ kà jáde this was written in December 11, 2024 ìdí tí mo ṣe ń present àwọn kìíní sílẹ̀ ni pé we want to ìyẹn làwọn kan ṣe sọ pé ó bẹ́tà ká jẹ́ kí ó dìjà ká lè ní interfaith gbà because tá a bá ń sọ pé kò ní ìyà tájọ́ fọwọ́ ọwọ́ ra wa náà fi ọwọ́ rárá wa lórí it could take time so let me read a little bit about it quickly. Conflict arising mo fẹ́ ká wo bíbá dáadáa màá ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ ní Yorùbá English lọ fi ṣe article yìí conflict tó pọ̀ láyé lẹ́nu tó bá sọ pé ìjà táwọn èèyàn ń jà láyé ní gbogbo everywhere Ukraine ìjà tó ń jà pẹ̀lú Russia ìjà lẹ́ni among countries Pakistan India àwọn indigenous people wà lábẹ́ mo sọ fún yín pé bọ́n mo fẹ́ mú gbé wa lọ sórí movie yẹn ọ̀rọ̀ ìjàlẹ̀ wà níbẹ̀ kò ń ṣe lẹ́ni ni àwọn òyìnbó ti lọ disturb many communities around the world and they have changed the borders wọ́n ti pè wọ́n lórúkọ wọ́n ti switch and many people now are saying no the law within this direction anymore and that is also what is affecting Yoruba land today. So conflict arising from or resulting in self-determination claims are for decades accounted for half the conflict in this world. Wọ́n ní ìjà tó pọ̀jù at the back has accounted for half of the conflict in the world. Pé Yorùbá nation tá à ń bá lọ yìí ó ṣeé ṣe pé òun náà máa wà lára intọ́ṣì máa àdì mọ́ if care is not taken. Táwọn kan bá sọ pé kò kàn wá àdá sí ẹ fi wá sílẹ̀ kò wá ń ṣe Yorùbá nìkan because nínú Nàìjíríà ìyẹn ẹ̀yà tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ pọ̀ àwọn ẹ̀yà kan wà wọ́n fẹ́ dominate àwọn Fúlàní which they have done already. They've been able to establish their wings across Nigeria. Débi pé Our TIJ majority, we are now scared of them. It shouldn't be like that, but that has been the situation right now. How do we upturn it? How do we flip it over? It is not about answer English on social media. We need to confront our fears once and for all. Tá a bá ti lè confront the fears wa, right? Gbogbo bá fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation yẹn, Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kó bọ́ sí. Èmi ò ní máa sọ pé a fẹ́ gba country kí tó máa fi inú mi ṣe the other way around. And that's why I said it's going to be, this outing, Tapejade, must lead us to the final result. Tabajade tó bá lead us to the final result, ẹ gbàgbé Yorùbá nation, kò sí kankan tó jẹ́ Yorùbá nation mọ́ nìyẹn. And that shows that we failed, and the next generation, it will take many years, if not thousands of years. We need to face that our fear. Fear yẹn gbọ́ngàn lágbára ọ̀yọ́ kúrò. Koiki wọ́n lọ́dún wọn ò ní monopoly agbára tẹ́yìn sọ pé wọ́n ní yẹn. Àwọn àpapọ̀ náà wà láti strategize. So let's go further. This report brings together learning from the initial phase of a 3-year partnership between Sasakawa Peace Foundation and the Coalition Mediation. Just an example right now. But I think there is a need now for that dispute to be resolved. And I'm talking about between Awon Onitiri fracas. I don't want to mention their names, but we know them. These are disputes. Because people want gossip. It can be resolved. There is a dispute, we can resolve dispute. But dispute, people can see that there is a danger coming. Fulani don't payan, ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, nílẹ̀ Igbo, ní Middle Belt. Àwọn èèyàn máa take arms against them back. Àwọn northern ade wọn sọ nísìn pé they afford anarchy. There will not be anarchy. That is what is coming from the Mumbo. Northerners are saying that no. Nigeria is already descending into an anarchy. Now, because I saw the news yesterday where the Northerners are saying that if care is not taken, I want to afford. I think it's the Arewa or something like that. I'm going to pick news here. I'll come back to that. I might not find it now, but I know I saw the news somewhere yesterday. But let me go back to the terms of peace. We love a situation where things can be resolved peacefully. But if we are running away from the peaceful part of things, okay, it's just like, okay, Twitter and the same. In talk about more poverty, and many people that wants to run business will not bring their businesses into that part of the, Yoruba land. Kàkà kó gbé business wá síbẹ̀, wọ́n máa gbé sá lọ ni. Torí pé wọn ò ní lè believe pé in tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ o. So let's go back to this article that she wà lórí ẹ̀ because another one to motivate pick. The report examined what distinct mediation and a peace building challenges based on self-determination conflict present. Kí ni wọ́n pè ní self-determination conflict? Òun ni Yorùbá ń bá lọ nísìnyí o. We might end up being in a conflict and there will have to still be a dialogue. Why not now dialogue before the conflict? Why should we allow the conflict before the dialogue? We can dialogue now, resolve this situation. It doesn't matter if it's going to take, okay, Baba Akintoye, ẹni Yorùbá máa lọ. Ṣẹlẹ̀ jẹ́ ká plan it stage by stage. We will give you the country right now, but stage by stage, you can start taking control of the resources, the government. But ǹjẹ́ Sanwó-Olú lè accept pé kí Baba Akintoye kó declare Yorùbá nation kó wá náà wò ní gbọ́? No, that's not what I wanted to phrase out. Ǹjẹ́ tí Baba Akintoye bá ní ká jáde fún rally nísìn? Ṣé mọ̀ pé Sanwó-Olú máa attack wa? They've done that before. They did that in 2021, led to the death of Jumoke Oyeleke. They did that in 2023, tó pa Ọba Òkè ní Ọjọ́ta. This time around, tẹ́ bá pààyàn, I will not say pa máa pa yín, but we will react. And it will now be a conflict. Torí nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ nìyẹn. Tí ọlọ́pàá bá yìnbọn pààyàn nínú rally tá fẹ́ ṣe, there will be a conflict and there will then be a mediating team. Àwọn olùmọ̀ máa mediate, it could be anybody. It could be anybody. Oya, ẹ wá bára yín sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ àfẹ́ conflict. Why then must you allow the push for conflict in the Yoruba land when Yoruba land doesn't belong to Nigeria? Ṣé Nigeria ló ní Yoruba land? The answer is no. Nigeria colony Yoruba land. Yoruba land has been in existence for thousands of years. But the only thing that can resolve the situation now is to confront Yoruba nation. Can't forget it. So this is not about you and me. We all need to confront our fears. Let's move swiftly. The report examined, again, what distinct mediation and peace building challenges self-determination conflict present, what options and approaches of mediation and peace practitioners can use to help address them, and how mediation and peace support processes can better connect across different groups. Yoruba nation groups, Biafra nation groups, Ijaw groups, Hausa groups. We have 4 major groups in Nigeria that are all clamoring for the dissolution of Nigeria, and one person will say, no, it's not going to happen. Then we must all go and prepare for conflict. We must go and prepare for conflict, because already current IMF and the World Bank to keep Yoruba people in Nigeria as a fake country that was established only in 1914, when the Yoruba country has been existing as far back as 9th century. So which way do we go forward? Do we talk about which way forward? I did a program about a couple of days ago. Ṣé Tinubu ni ká tẹ̀lé ni àbí ká tẹ̀lé Baba Akintoye? Because gbogbo ayé tí Tinubu máa lò kó tó kú kò lè lo 30 years mọ́ lórí age. Add 30 years to Tinubu's age, it will be 108 years. Kò ní rántí orúkọ ẹ̀gán mọ́, kò ní rántí anything more. At that age, tó bá ṣe máa wà alive at 108 years. So why then do we want to leave the freedom for Tinubu to decide on ourselves? We need to move forward, and this year needs to change the dynamic of the Yoruba nation movement so that Kolewa in reality. If not, movement lasoni, and it will just be a social media conversation. It's as simple as that. If truly we want to leave Nigeria, this is the right time to do it. Production. Now, let's go to another one that says challenges to advancing indigenous people's right to self-determination. Eléyìí Asia ni, but it's almost the same thing affecting Africa. This again is coming from another website called Asia Indigenous Peoples Pact. Asia in Olayomi Koiki. Tí gbogbo àgbáyé mọ̀ sí Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Nírọ̀lẹ́ ní aago 6 bí a ti ṣe sọ, ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ìkànnì wa nígbà tí a máa gbé àdúrà sọ̀kalẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ìyá wa tí a jọ ń ṣe àdúrà ní gbogbo ìgbà nípa ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation. Ẹgbẹ́ náà wọ́n pè ní GR1, tí ìgbà tí wọ́n mú bàbá wa olóyè mọ́lẹ̀ ní 2021 ní ẹgbẹ́ náà ti jáde, tí wọ́n fi àdúrà ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ wà lórí Facebook, YouTube and all other channels. Just also so that their footprint can be known that oríṣiríṣi group ló ń ṣiṣẹ́, gbogbo wa náà kọ́ la máa showcase ara wa lórí social media. But this particular one, I made the suggestion and they approved it, and tonight at 6 p.m. all of them come and ṣe ni pé ẹ kọ́ máa ṣàmì àti àṣẹ àti inshallah, depending on whatever you believe in during the course of the prayer. At exactly 7 p.m. the prayer will close and the broadcast will also close. Kò ń ṣe program la fi wá ṣe o. It's a prayer towards the upcoming rally, blessing for Yoruba land, blessing for all medias and Baba Akintoye and Igboho, and how we are all preparing. I will have a program probably before the end of the week, calling the attention of all our religious people within Yoruba land to prepare their mind and pray, because we are coming out. I've not been given a date, but I can tell you the rally is loaded. Let me begin. It says, good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin, not began, because began is with an A, begin is with an I. Let me begin with a brief snapshot of the region we live in. Eléyìí tí mo fẹ́ kà tí bá ti ń sọ Asia, ẹ máa mú lọ́kàn ara yín pé in tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Africa tó dẹ̀ ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nigeria against the indigenous people. Across Asia, indigenous peoples have long been at the forefront of movement for self-governance. Our struggle is not isolated. It is deeply connected to the broader political crisis, to the call for democracy, and to the resistance against authoritarian rule that persisted in many parts of our region. In countries like Myanmar, Bangladesh, Nepal, Lahore, Cambodia, Vietnam, authoritarian control has stiff right. Elsewhere, like in Thailand, democracy is only nominal. In all these places, indigenous peoples are challenging entrenched state power. I want us to hold on to that word. Challenging. Kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní challenging? Tá bá lọ sórí Google, the word challenging testing one ability for demanding. Our outing for Yoruba Nation rally will be a challenge to the Yoruba institutions that have held us in bondage for many years. After a challenge one, and it could lead to a conflict. Don't take this rally as a child's play. It's a big one, and it's as simple as that. Anybody downplaying it and telling you it's just going to be a rally, take this to the market, they are telling you a lie. We are challenging the authority of Lagos State. We are challenging the authority of Oyo State, Ogun State, Osun State, Ekiti State. Oh, mi ti fẹ́ ó tún fẹ́ lọ bọ́n rántí pé mo sì mi bẹ́ẹ̀ mi pé èpè yẹn kí n yọ kúrò nínú broadcast. Èmi ọ̀nà London. Ibi àlẹ́ mi ṣì wà. Èmi kí bàbá kí tó yẹ announce, èmi náà máa wọlé. Èmi ò padà lọ sí London kankan mọ́. I've lived there for 27 years. Bàbá kú ní kó declare. Kí bàbá declare máa wọlé. Ọmọ kọ́ lèmi. I am close to the border. Mo lọ jìnnà. Mo súnmọ́ border tipẹ́tipẹ́. Ẹ ní ṣoríire. Àwọn lè fẹ́ máa dẹ́rùbà. We are going to give you ẹ sunkún. Àwọn tó kú yẹn. They could have been alive. So, and don't worry, I can jáde fún Yoruba Nation rally. I know we are coming to challenge the authority of those that have held us for bondage for many years, using the Western power against us. Dumb bastards. Let me take that again. In all these places, indigenous people, Elawo Mema is a military dictator. Wọ́n jà lójoojúmọ́ níbẹ̀ ni, wọ́n ti pa wọ́n ọmọ iná wọn nígbà. Ìjọba mílíọ̀nù kò ní any power kankan, civilian ni wọ́n dìbò fún ni as democracy. Àdẹ̀ sí níjọba àti níjọba military. Ìtọ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe ni kó ṣe nígbà tóun náà sá kúrò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ṣèbí ó múra bí ẹlẹ́hàá jáde ni. Òun ṣe dúró pápá òun náà. Òun wá débẹ̀ nísìn, ó ń lo agbára pé òun wà ní civilian president, ó ń lo agbára military láwa lórí. Ó yọ democracy kúrò ní Rivers State, ó gbé kinní sí. Tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣe yẹn nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Nǹkan bàjẹ́ rẹ́rẹ́ máa ń rún. Challenging entrench. I just allow meaning entrench. Google it again and let's give us the meaning of the word entrench. Attitude, habit, belief, firmly established and difficult on challenge. Le challenge itagbedani. Le change wa. We want Yoruba country. That Aláàfin ò lè dá dúró. Ẹni mi mo sọ fún Aláàfin bẹ́ẹ̀. Aláàfin ò lè dá Yoruba nation dúró. Is either he support it or he sit back in his palace and we get Yoruba nation and we give him the authority. Báwo ló ṣe jẹ́ Ṣèyí Mákindé tó máa parí ìjọba nísìn òun ló ń gbé àṣẹ fún Aláàfin nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ṣé state ló ń gbé àṣẹ fún King Charles nígbà tó fẹ́ dọba? Ṣèbí mi wà ní London. Idiot all over the place. Is that how it's meant to look like? So why are we living in denial? It's because orí gbogbo wa ó pé kí má sọ ọ̀rọ̀ òdì síra wa. You think that they will give you Yoruba nation. Yoruba nation is going back. Yoruba nation now. Lórí social media. Jókòó síbẹ̀ kò má jáde nígbà tá a bá ní ká jáde. Wo sórí diaspora tó ń wò yẹn. Wọ́n ní wálé torí àyà wọn ń já gan. Àwọn tó ń wálé wọ́n ń ṣọ́bi tó ń lọ. Wọ́n máa ń ṣọ́bi tó ń lọ ni. Èmi tó bá wálé gan, ó ń lo security tó nímọ̀ tó máa tẹ̀lé lẹ́yìn. Ìyá àdúrà kò lè dárìn bó ṣe wà yẹn. Òun náà ti ní security. Tó bá lọ akó sójà tó kó bọ̀ dání. Kí ni woman of God ń kó sójà káàkiri? Kí ni bàbá Adébóyè ṣe ń kó sójà káàkiri? Ṣèbí man of God ni wọ́n. Àwọn ìṣe máa dá káàkiri kan má kó sójà dání. Bí a Fúlàní ò ní pàdé wọn lẹ́nu kó fìbọn fọ́ orí wọn dànù. Idiot all over the place. Fooling yourselves. Now, let's reflect on the discourse around self-determination. Too often, the right to self-determination is treated as something that emerged in the post-colonial era. But in the truth, indigenous self-governance existed long before colonialism. Indigenous people àti wà self-governance àti ṣèjọba ara wa wọ́n ní àti múra dáadáa bàbá kí tó yẹ sọ gbogbo kìíní yẹn ó wà ní ìwé wọn ẹ tó bá fẹ́ ra ìwé yẹn ẹ kọ́ńtàtì Alájà Queen Ara ní London Mori Aziz kẹyìn wa lórí ìjókòó ìdí tí mo ṣe dárúkọ ni pé mo record after the recording I would appreciate each and every one of you gbogbo yín ni mo rí. Let's take that again. Too often ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ ènìyàn pé kí ó lè dá dúró wọ́n wá treat it as something that just emerged during the colonial era. Ìgbà wo ni colonial era dé ọ̀dọ̀ wa? 15th century. Yorùbá dẹ̀ ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó ti ń ṣe gbogbo nǹkan ní 9th century. Ó wà níwèé bàbá Akíntóyè. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ PDF ẹ lọ sí koikimedia.com ẹ bá níbẹ̀. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ra hard copy ẹ contact World Media. But the truth is indigenous self-governance existed long before colonialism. Colonial rule tá à ń sọ pé a fẹ́ uphold yìí, a fẹ́ dá padà sí bí ó ṣe wà tẹ́lẹ̀. Torí pé tá a bá dá padà síbẹ̀, àwọn ló máa jẹ gàba lé wa lórí. Àwọn ló máa dictate fún wa. And they've done so for 26 years. Democracy failed every part of Yoruba land. Kò síbi kan tẹ́lẹ̀ tọ́ka sí pé ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Even though pé kò ṣe ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn, àwa ṣì ní the economic power of Nigeria. Ẹ wáyé. Pressure wa wà ní many parts of Yoruba land lẹ́nu. Mo rí bọ̀bọ̀ kan tó ń sunkún sábọ̀. Tinubu, àwọn ọmọ Igbo ti ra gbogbo ilé tán o. Ilé ti di 1.2 million o. Ọmọ Yorùbá ò lè gbé láàrin Èkó mọ́. Wọ́n ti lé gbogbo yín dànù. Àwọn yẹn tó ti gbọ́n. Tó bá ti ra ilẹ̀ kan báyìí, píá wọ́n ti gbé sókè, píá wọ́n ti lọ́mọ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀. Níbo lọ́mọ Yorùbá ti lówó tó fẹ́ fi gba ilé 1 million, ilé 2 million, ilé 300,000 ojoojúmọ́. Àwa ará àwọn tó yẹ pé face me, not any slap me, I slap you. Ìbí mi tẹ̀ gbé ní Adéníjà Dèdè tó tẹ̀ ṣìdá nígbà ìgbà tí máa fi kúrò ńbẹ̀ náà ó ti ń rì. Lẹ́yìn ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa tó wà níwájú tó bá máa fi dé phase 3, phase 4 bígbà tó ti wọnú èrè lọ ni. Ó yẹ kó ti redevelop gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn padà again, kó ti gbé sókè, kó ti ṣe ní standard. Ordinary ilé tó lè jẹ́ fún mẹ̀kúnnù, àwọn olóṣèlú yẹn wọ̀ ṣe fún yín kẹ́ gbé proper house. Pé ilé government o, ilé fún mẹ̀kúnnù o, kódà ilé fún staff. Ẹ lọ bí táwọn ọlọ́pàá ń gbé ní gbogbo barracks, ẹ bá wọn sunkún. Mo sọ fún yín ní àwọn ilé tó wà ní níbo lọ ti ń tà màlá ṣítà ní gbogbo area yẹn. Tó bá yàgbẹ́ lókè, kò ń ṣe pọ́n flush náà pẹ̀lú WC o, tó bá dáhùn sí báyìí, ìgbẹ́ á máa jáde ní gbogbo ilé ẹlòmíì nísàlẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn ilé tẹ́kọ́ ti kàn dẹ́ ẹ máa wọlé mi báyìí tí wọ́n máa wọlé mi máa bèrè pé ṣé Nàìjíríà lè lè ṣá. They make sure that the welfare system of our people have been destroyed. Ẹ wá ní kádákẹ́. Àbí ok ẹ ríran wò mo rí gbogbo yín ẹ̀yin gbádùn ẹ̀ ń ṣe ìyàwó ẹ̀ ń ṣe yọ̀tọ̀mì ẹ̀ ń gun mọ́tò ẹ̀ ń lọ ẹ̀ ń bọ̀ ẹ̀ ń parọ́ fọmọ Yorùbá ẹ̀ ní kọ́ máa pe Jésù ẹ̀ ní kọ́ máa pànọ́bì tíyà ń jáwọn èèyàn. Àbí no problem. Under colonial regimes, indigenous peoples, this is what the bastard Britain have done to us. Olórí burúkú ni Britain, not their citizen, but the system that created Nigeria. Olórí burúkú ayé àtọ̀run ni. And we will destroy that part that was made us like this. A máa destroy ẹ̀ ni. Àwọn náà ní gbádùn ẹ̀ mọ́, báwa náà ṣe ní gbádùn ẹ̀. Ìkànnì méjèèjì ni. Ìsídà kí a máa jọ gbádùn ẹ̀ àbí kọ́jọ jẹ́ ká jọ ṣe ní no conflict peaceful dialogue. Ìkànnì méjèèjì ni. Ẹ̀yin fẹ́ máa ní káwọn èèyàn máa gba visa ní Amẹ́ríkà ní China ní this whereas passport tàwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n wọ Nàìjíríà tí kò ní di visa. Kí ló dé tí passport Nàìjíríà náà kò wọlé because wọ́n mọ̀ pé economy ti bàjẹ́ wọ́n mọ̀ pé tó bá náà lọ sọlódé rọ́lùm pa òun sá lọ ní you're going nowhere ó padà wálé mọ́. Under the colonial regimes, indigenous people were criminalized in the British India, in the British Nigeria, in the British Africa. For example, the Criminal Tribe Act of 1871 classified over 150 communities as criminals. That is what Britain have done. Over $80 trillion ni wọ́n jí kúrò lọ́wọ́ India. Ẹ wá ní kí India change language wọn. Ẹni kọ́ wọn awọṣọ bí àwọn òyìnbó. Kí ni kan India kama? Ọmọ India nìyẹn. Ìkan náà ìyàwó mi nìyẹn. These colonial powers introduce ideas like state sovereignty, eminent domain, criminal law to justify their control. This concept became weapons used not to govern, but to dispose indigenous peoples of our lands, our rights, and our dignity. In terms of Africa, ọmọ Yorùbá wa máa bìyàn pé ẹ bá kí nìkan tẹ̀ ń jà kí nìkan tẹ̀ ń jà fún. Òun rẹ̀ nísìn kò lè gbé láàrin Èkó mọ́. Kódà Ìkòròdú wọ́n ti lé gbogbo wọn dànù wọn lè gbé ní Ìkòròdú tọ́tẹ̀ kó lọ mọ́ nísìn. Àárín wọn tuntun wọnú Ìjẹ̀bú lọ nísìn. Àwa máa wọ mọ́tò láàárọ̀, a fi wá ṣiṣẹ́ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ọmọ àlè, one bastard. Àwọn Ìgbò dẹ̀ ti gbọ́n, àwọn tí mo bọ́ Ìgbò kò sí nǹkan tó lè ṣe láti fi rówó. Ìgbò ọ̀hún kò sanwó mọ́gọ̀ ni o. Torí àyàpá ni torí kò ní nílé yẹn gbà. We gave a full warning because ilé bàbá mi street méjì ló cover kò rẹ̀ ń ṣe lé kékeré. Wọ́n ti wá bá wa títí báwọn fẹ́ rà. So àfi wọ́n ní sílẹ̀ ẹni bá yìí ó sanwó mọ́gọ̀ fún wọn ni. Because street méjì ló face. Àti ta gbogbo ilẹ̀ wa tán. Indigenous people. Ọwọ́ ń dominate wa. Àti wá ní ó dá bá ṣe lè stop ẹ̀ tá lè slow ẹ̀ down òun ni pé ká gbalẹ̀ wa. Tabasha ti gba country wa àwa máa wá mọ̀ tá máa ṣe wọ́n ní orúkọ tá máa sọ kinní kan inú ẹ̀ ló ń gbé sí ẹ̀yẹn fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ but every bá wọn jà nínú Nàìjíríà lè defeat wọn because wọ́n máa fi Nigerian law tó ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n máa fi court pé we have the right. Is either you support and endorse Yoruba nation to become a country or you remain in Nigeria and suffer the consequence with the Igbos, the Hausas and the Fulanis. Fulani sọ pé òun ní right láti máa da màálù kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ máa ṣe sí. Kí la wá ṣe sí lóòótọ́? No, kí ni nǹkan tá gbogbo àjọ ṣe sí? Àárín kankan ṣe sí because àwọn tó yẹ kọ́ rí nǹkan ṣe sí àwọn governors wa ṣe lọ́dẹnúlẹ̀ báyìí tó ń datọ́. Meeting tó ṣe nísìn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tọ́ka national máa ń wọ́ndà àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ó ṣe jẹ́ tọ́jà tẹ́ bá ti rí àwọn nǹkan kéékèèké tó ní mínì àwọn Yorùbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sẹ́ni fídíò sí mi Koiki sórí àwọn governors wa ti ń ka national anthem wa Yorùbá anthem wa ó ti pósù mẹ́ta nísìn tẹ̀ má sọ̀rọ̀ tó ní mọ́ because tí Ọọ̀ni yẹn àṣẹ òsì lọ́wọ́ Ọọ̀ni mọ́ after 1 year Ọọ̀ni ò ní agbára láti sọ pé ká lọ ṣe defend ara wa. Let's take that again. The concept became weapons used not just to govern but to dispose indigenous peoples of our land, ilẹ̀, our right, ẹ̀tọ́ wa, dignity. Kò sí mọ́. Even today, these legal norms persist. No, kò ń ṣàwà nìkan là ń fẹ́ countries ẹ̀ máa sọ fún yín. Even when progressive legislation exists, like the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act in the Philippines, lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan wọn máa parọ́ fúnra wọn. Tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa wọ̀ tẹ̀ fún wa ní right kankan. Wọ́n fún ọmọ Yorùbá kankan ní right, ọmọ Igbo kankan ní right, ọmọ Hausa kankan ní right as an indigenous people in the constitution. Because àwọn tó kọ constitution ẹ̀ wọ́n mọ̀ kó tó bá fún yín ní right. Ẹ máa challenge it. That is why there is no referendum clause in the constitution. Ó dá ẹ jẹ́ ká yọ constitution yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ ká dáwó káwá constitution mi. No, we can't do that to Koiki because that constitution òun náà la máa òun ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún wa even though that constitution is one of the biggest fraud. The bank bought fraud òun constitution yẹn and evidence shows that wọ́n sọ fún Akpabio pé constitution tẹ́lẹ̀ ń wá láti 23 years níjọ́ ò lè fẹ́ rí àwọn máa ń jẹ́ mùkúlẹ̀.
Don't build anything out of a weak foundation. President Tinubu needs to put his best foot forward to govern the country. If he does that, in 4 years, he can turn things around. But there are certain critical things he would need to do. The first thing is to say, what's the constitution? If, for instance, me and my wife Lily don't agree in our marriage of 45 years, then we can't do anything. So the first thing that President Tinubu would need to do is to ensure that Nigerians all agree to be one country. You recall that Bola Ige asked those two questions. Do we want to be one? If we want to be one, how? We haven't answered those questions, which is why I told President AGBAGBA of the Senate that it has taken 23 years to solve the problem of the Constitution. And I urged him, in conjunction with President Tinubu, to resolve the Nigerian constitutional question before Lugard brought his amalgamation in 1914. Call them in. These are the people who own the country, and ask them questions. What do you want to see of the Constitution? Because without a Constitution, we're going nowhere. And no one will doubt the fact that the Constitution bequeathed by the military in 1999 is unsatisfactory. You can't build anything out of a weak foundation. The economic development policy of President Tinubu, the political development policy of President Tinubu, and everything else he wants to do rests on a very solid foundation. So let him immediately resolve that. How can we spend 23 years looking for a foundation for building a house? Does that make sense to anybody? So that's my number one issue. We need to resolve this issue of, do we want to be one? And mark you, the flip side of the question is that we mustn't be one. Because Yugoslavia, which was 6 countries under Marshal Tito, when he died, decided to break apart. And today, a lot of them are very strong countries: Macedonia, Croatia, Slovenia,
Slovakia.
So there is no sacrosanctity about Nigeria being one country.
There is no circumstance that Nigeria has to be one country. So why are we pushing for a one country that could end up making a lot of problems? Every day you go on channels. My friend, Sheon Kebaloye, my very good brother, doing very well. Analysis in on. You go on Arise, analysis, TVC, analysis, NTA, analysis, YouTube, analysis. But everybody knows that there is no unity. All we need to do is dissolve it. Let everybody go and be analyzing their own part of Yoruba land, their own Igbo side, their Hausa side, the middle. Why should we be concerned about what is happening in Anambra? Do you know how many problems is in America? Do you know how many problems is in the UK? Do you think that they care about your problem? So you think that UK will leave their problem and come and be worried about your problem? Why should we worry about other people's problem when we have bulk of our problem that we want to resolve? So I have about just half an hour because, like I said, I need to prepare for the next program at 6 p.m. Now, even where at Mutika, this brings us to a deeper question. What is wrong? Anyway, Mutika, it get the bulk of it so that we just have an understanding that Kunshawa Nikon face, go through these rigorous problems. But we can all pull out together simultaneously, and we can still be good neighbors. We can still have cordial relationship among ourselves. But if we still want to remain one Nigeria, we would end up killing each other, and I don't think that is the right way. The only right way for us today is for the Yoruba people to go separate, the Igbos to go separate, the Hausa should go separate, the Ijaw separate. And don't come and tell us that, what about the smaller, indigenous people? I did a program about Kiruruko Lutashilano. Who remember that country? They are not even up to 12,000. The whole population of the country that I did a program yesterday, Tuvalu is in South Pacific in between Australia. Their population today is 11,000 plus. It's a country. No matter how tiny it is still running. It has its own system of government. ATM, one low debit card, everything is cash. Tuvalu, Eshigoni. I'll give room for calls for the next half an hour. This is where you can also have your own say. But like I always say, it's not about coming here to scream and shout. It's about reviewing things from Munibi by the international channel. And I forgot that I'm running a software with the YouTube channel on Koiki Media. In as much as Beko balance that, I can show you the background of what I've been reading because you can watch it with the software that I'm using. Since OBS, if you want me. So let me bring that up in a minute while we continue with the program. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki. While I'm going to be doing that, I'll just play this and I'll come back with the full screen behind me.
Gbogbo Yorùbá pátá lé lóko náà sọ pé èdè wa jọ wá lójú lápapọ̀ dá dúró Yorùbá nation must stand. Gbogbo Yorùbá pátá lé lóko náà sọ pé èdè wa jọ wá lójú lápapọ̀ dá dúró Yorùbá nation must stand.
À ń fi àsìkò yìí ṣe ìkéde fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ láti gbáradì fún àwọn ìwọ́de tí ń bọ̀ lọ́nà nípa pàtàkì orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá nation àti wípé ìdí tí a fi gbọdọ̀ dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìpínlẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ìwọ́de yìí náà ni a máa ṣe káàkiri gbogbo ilẹ̀ káàárọ̀ òjìrè bí tí bàbá wa onímọ̀ ẹ̀rọ emeritus professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè yóò ṣe olùdarí rẹ̀. Ọdún 2025 yìí náà ni yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀, a sì máa kàn sí wa nípa oṣù àti gbogbo ohun tí a bá fẹ́ mọ̀. Olùkéde Olayomi Koiki, agbẹnusọ fún olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho.
Torí àsìkò tí a ní lè take more than that. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí lórí ìkànnì wa náà ni Koiki Media bringing the work closer to your doorstep. Now, let's broadcast ẹ̀yin. So ẹ rí pé gbogbo tí mò ń kà lẹ́ǹkan kò ń ṣòfegè. Òun nìyẹn lẹ́rìí yẹn. Mediating self-determination conflict. Mo ti kà lẹ́ǹkan, a ní láti repeat ẹ̀. The other one tí mo kà tán tẹ̀rí náà, òun lè léyìn. Challenges to advancing indigenous people's right to self-determination in Asia. But in tí mo kà lẹ́ǹkan yẹn, ó reflect àwa náà tí a wà nínú Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n ń pè ní Áfíríkà. Ẹ̀ràn demands wa ti kọ́kọ́ pé ẹni ká ṣe máa rà sí níwọ̀nba kéékèèké tí ẹ̀sìn fowó ránṣẹ́. So like I said, the walkie-talkie and these were bought again today. And
this is a new set of megaphone. This is a new set of megaphone. Today's date is 22 of April 2025. Today's date is 22nd of April 2025. This is a new set of megaphone. As you can see, this is a new set of megaphone. Good afternoon. This is Koiki Media bringing the world closer to your doorstep. 2 of April 2025. Today's date is 22nd of April 2025.
So we come back again to the program. Like I said, the more you can help in whatever ways, the better as well. Also, Kamagbagbe, the YSDM, I was able to make my donation yesterday. Yesterday, I make donation, I think day before yesterday, I can't remember now. So you can see it right there. You go on their website, www.ysdm.org. Don't expect any of our artists pé kọ́ wá sponsor wa pé à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation kò sí ìtòkun ayé tiwọn pẹ̀lú ayé tiwa ò kọ́ ṣe wà yẹn. So all they are interested is continue to use the population of Yoruba people to make good history. And they're doing very well. We're happy with them. At least the glory of Yoruba name is enshrined in them from Bugwala you know, Atobionini, Atokunrin. They're doing very well. We will be proud to have a country called our own, where there will be our ambassador, Tomama represent. So Fenty, Dasi, YSDM, in terms of the donation, in every movement, people have to dip their hands. The Israel save, the diaspora Israel save the diaspora, I mean the ones at home. So we can save those at home of Yoruba land. Go see economic power, and it's just shameful that that is what has happened in 26 years. For 26 years, they've not been able to make a life for the millions of Yoruba people today. It was to value. So here, more to value. I think I can just show you briefly after these interwalori software and interwalori other channels that you me ori phone operate. So but YouTube Koiki Media and background so let me close this because this also is America saying to Burkina Faso. There was a coup attempt to kill the Burkina Faso current, military dictator. But General Michael Langley, Shenati Baboy, only what train our core value. How many of us remember the video we did many times, I think about 2 years ago, that talked about the core value, but eventually I want to train local government. So America has always funded overthrow of government. There's no denial. They can't deny it. They know that. They are very good at that. So if we are waiting for America to come and give us Yoruba nation, we will sit forever. Tabandrobe, UK, to colonize Walumafumani country. It's good that we have done the diplomacy side by submitting a letter which Igboho did on behalf of Babaki Toye, in October 12, when we have the fantastic outing. One of the biggest outing that any Nigerian community can do was shut down Titi Riberi. I can tell you that. I know the amount of resources and how much was spent, but these are classified that I can't disclose to you because I was the one that made the booking for the police and everything as at the time, Belawonti committee. So I know what entails war and you bought by anybody. So báwo la ṣe wá fẹ́ jáde nílùú wa pé a fẹ́ self-determination ẹ̀mọ̀ wá yìnbọn pa wá ṣe rí pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ó máa di conflict. If we can do what we did in London for the duration and we didn't have any attack, we do not want any part of Yoruba land that our governors will have to attack us because we are coming out for the rally. Ó bẹ́tà kẹ́ dialogue pẹ̀lú wa. Kí n tó gba brother mi wọlé, General Michael Langley is the head of the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM. During a U.S. Senate hearing, all accused Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso, of using the country gold reserves for personal protection rather than for the benefit of his people. Àwọn èèyàn wá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ Amẹ́ríkà pé kí ni kàn yín pẹ̀lú yẹn? Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ̀ gbọ́ díẹ̀ nìkan tí wọ́n sọ. Mò ń bọ̀ ẹni tí ó fi bá wa sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ̀ ra gbọ́ díẹ̀. Though we're working with time, program in Matoni exactly 5:30. I'm squeezing everything.
Gratuities on the side that in order to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Kabatori and Burkina Faso, as they know that both. Whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's
mo kí brọ́dà mi mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará ilé ẹ kú jókòó brọ́dà mi Ìdòwú ní ìjọ Saturday eléyìí tá a wà nú ẹ̀ yìí lágbára Ọlọ́run Yorùbá Nation Summit what next èyí tí mo fẹ́ ká rántí ni pé kí ni summit fi focus lé lórí nǹkan mẹ́ta ni rally tá a fi ṣe ó indicate pé rally máa wáyé kò wá ń ṣe nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nìkan ni rally máa ti wáyé gẹ́gẹ́ bá ṣe gbọ́ ó máa wáyé náà ní gbogbo ẹ̀ka ibi tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wà ní diaspora ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ then ó máa focus lórí concrete action plan for exiting the Nigerian contraction because tàbá náà fẹ́ jáde a gbọ́dọ̀ ní concrete plan tàbá parí prayer tó bá di pé bá máa ṣe program mi later lẹ́ni náà mo máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa manual tí bàbá Akíntóyè sọ how and what we will do that will lead to the conclusion of having a country. United Nations kọ́ ni wọ́n máa declare Yorùbá nation fún wa America kọ́ ló máa declare Yorùbá nation fún wa kò sílùú kankan tó máa fún ní country. Taiwan right now as we speak today and I believe I am right Taiwan China ṣe ń bá wọn pon tó tán lẹ̀ enjoyed even though not every country accept it. So let me quickly talk about that. We only have 15 more minutes so mo appreciate gbogbo wa tí a ṣe jọ wà lórí ìjókòó. So Saturday tá a fẹ́ mú yìí 26, which will be the last Saturday at the end of the month of April. This summit will be held in London, but will be transmitted on all the feeds of the Yoruba Nation media campaign across the board. So let's look forward to the deliberation. Baba was asking me if I will be coming around to him before the summit or on the day of the summit. I told him I would definitely be close to him. Rather, the reason why we're here to help them in terms of whatever they need as a media personnel. So, if the same venue need your Saturday, I will let you know. Apart from that as well, we need to also have the understanding that country, no ni ogba country one without one obstacle or the other. Let's quickly look at the declaration of an independent and sovereign Taiwanese state as opposed to Chinese unification or the status quo in cross-strait relation. Does the U.S. recognize Taiwan independence? In keeping with its China policy, the U.S. does not support the dual Taiwan independence, but it does support Taiwan membership in the appropriate international organization, such as the World Trade Organization. So you can see that there are countries sometimes that also have an independence that is not straight. Àwọn nígbà country tí independence wọ̀ ní meaning bí tàwọn ti 419 kùkùté. Also, people ask, who recognized Taiwan as a country? Àwọn wo ló recognize Taiwan? Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá mi Tony Ages is fight to finish. Mo kí Mr. Nifen Mustafa, mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa. Great Yoruba Nation, mo kí Keke Oku and many of you. Taiwan has 12 diplomatic allies, méjìlá, that recognize Taiwan as the ROC and thus do not have official relationship with Beijing. Àwọn èèyàn ní anything to do with Beijing, but will recognize Taiwan as a country. Because China ṣì ń lo pé àwọn làwọn ní that particular part and what if it bá Taiwan jà. There's been a lot of military drill in the last couple of months, and they are still doing a lot as well. Gbogbo tó ń ṣe yẹn láti fi dẹ́rù ba àwọn Taiwanese, even though Taiwan is running as a country as we speak today. What does Taiwan want to be? And do Taiwanese have their own passport? This is consistent with the United States One China policy, under which the United States has maintained unofficial relationship with Taiwan since 1979. Taiwan passports are issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I know a lot of people will be wondering, oh yes, because the land does not belong to anybody. Fulani kuku koloni le, Hausa koloni, Igbo koloni. But àwọn Yorùbá tó máa takò, there will be the Tinubu and they are coming down like that. Tinubu, that means all this set of people will fight everything to make sure that Yoruba does not leave Nigeria. Let's listen to this, then I come back, we'll start winding the program down in 11 minutes.
One in Nigeria, then so Nigeria to find in the education, to find in the earth. infrastructure wọ́n fèlì gbogbo nǹkan náà fèlì ẹ wá náà rí.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral.
lórí wọn na ọmọ wa lánàá ni ó ní ìlú pé ọmọ rẹ̀ dànù wọn. bọ́lá tí nàìjíríà bá gbọ́ bọ́ọ̀lù tí a bá yege èmi wà náà tí ó máa sunkún. ẹ yege mi eré pa ẹ fèlì níbi gbogbo nǹkan kò sẹ́ni kò sí ń pa. bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kọsẹ̀ kò lè rí òògùn lọ́sípítà kò sí náà kò sómi wọ́n bónú ọ̀nà lọ ọdún mẹ́fà wọn ò ní ṣe eruku pàrọ̀ àdúgbò tán.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Which is it for you, Dr. Badaya? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. Let me make some revelations to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. How will the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.